When Swift Sneak first made it into the game in that experimental snapshot, it was actually a boot enchantment. When it was a boot enchantment, it was mutually exclusive with other boot enchantments like Soul Speed and Depth Strider. That's not how it works anymore. If your mental is very, very proficient, then you may also remember that it wasn't in 22W11A, the first 1.19 snapshot. Swift Sneak was added into the game in 22W12A, the second 1.19 snapshot, with the warden. Now, just like a lot of other enchantments in the game, Swift Sneak doesn't come with just one level. In total, Swift Sneak in survival Minecraft without any commands has 3 levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Now, if you're looking for Swift Sneak, the enchantment table is just not it. You're going to have to go to the Ancient City. Swift Sneak is a treasure enchantment. More specifically, the 6th treasure enchantment to make it into the game. We have Mending, Frostwalker, Soul Speed 3, then we have the Curses, and now we have Swift Sneak as well. In my opinion, the Swift Sneak enchantment is pretty sweet, and I think in survival long-term, this thing is going to be absolutely amazing to have, maybe even potentially a game changer. Now, the Swift Sneak enchantment does exactly what the name says, so we're sneaking right now. It's insanely slow, it's insanely boring, but it's okay. Check this out. So we have Swift Sneak 3 right here. We'll go all the way up to the top, and then we sneak, and we're going really, really quick. So yeah, Swift Sneak makes you sneak a whole lot faster. It's really nice. So by all technical calculations, a treasure enchantment is an enchantment that you can't get inside of the enchantment table. It's treasure. That probably leaves you with a whopping juicy question then. Swift Sneak. How do I get it? Well, big juicy question, no more. The Swift Sneak enchantment is one of currently 3 unique Ancient City loot items. If you're looking for the Swift Sneak enchantment, trading with a villager, it's not going to work, it's not possible. Looting like a village, that's also not going to work. The Ancient City. You can find the Swift Sneak enchantment generating inside of the loot chests that generate inside of the small buildings and ruins inside of the city. Now, I recently dropped a video talking about all of the structures inside of the city. If you're looking for like an in-depth, concise guide to these cities and maybe how they generate, check that thing out. You're basically looking for the chests inside of these buildings like this. Other than the icebox, there's a chance. If you're lucky, you get Swift Sneak on your first try. Maybe even you get 2 chances of it. If you're not lucky, you'll have to try again. You will be able to find every level of the Swift Sneak book inside of these ancient cities. So like level 1 through 3, they're all here. This enchantment is going to help you survive the city big time, which is kind of funny if you think about it. You survive the city without the enchantment to get the enchantment to leave the city, I guess. I don't know. But how common is it? Like, is the Swift Sneak enchantment easy to find? To try and answer that question, I set up a small test and ran it. The test is pretty straightforward. Over here, I have a command. Every single time I press this button, it essentially generates a random Ancient City loot chest. All of these items could be one potential loot chest. If we take a look at the items, maybe we get Swift Sneak, maybe we didn't. Now, I ran this test 10 times total. Out of the 10 times, 4 of these loot chests had Swift Sneak. More specifically, Swift Sneak 1 in this one, Swift Sneak 2, Swift Sneak 3, and then Swift Sneak 3 again. So 4 out of 10, almost half of the time. Not bad. But that was just my test, very small sample size. Let's slide over to the Ancient City. You can find the Swift Sneak enchantment generating inside of the loot chests that generate inside of the small buildings and ruins inside of the city. Now, I recently dropped a video talking about all of the structures inside of the city. If you're looking for like an in-depth, concise guide to these cities and maybe how they generate, check that thing out. You're basically get 2 chances of it. So 4 out of 10, almost half of the time. To try and answer. But that was just my test. Now, I ran this test 10 times total. Out of the 10 times, 4 of these loot chests had Swift Sneak. More specifically, Swift Sneak 1 in this one, Swift Sneak 2, Swift Sneak 3, and then Swift Sneak 3 again. So 4 out of 10, almost half of the time. Not bad. But that was just my test, very small sample size. Let's slide over to the Minecraft wiki page on the Ancient City to check out the actual statistics. So, Ancient City loot, there's a lot here. The thing we're looking specifically for is this enchanted book right here, enchanted with Swift Sneak. Taking a look at this chart, as of the latest snapshot, you're going to have a 23.2% chance to find an enchanted book with a random level of Swift Sneak inside of a chest in the Ancient City. Let's say you're unlucky. Your luck is through the floor. You find 2 chests inside of the Ancient City. Both of those chests have Swift Sneak 1, or maybe both of them have Swift Sneak 2. Doesn't matter. If you need to combine them inside of an anvil, 8 levels right there to go to Swift Sneak 2, or 12 levels to go to Swift Sneak 3. Definitely going to be better off just finding Swift Sneak 3, but let's say you can't do it. You have Swift Sneak 2, you put it on 2 different diamond leggings, maybe hoping to lower the cost. That was a terrible idea. Worst idea of all time, in fact. 26 levels to level that thing up on its own. Yikes. Just get lucky. The Swift Sneak enchantment is the very first unique pant enchantment in the entire game. If you have the Swift Sneak enchantment and you want to put it on something, the leggings. That's going to mean our total legging enchantment count has been increased. We have all of the protections, of course. We have mending, we have unbreaking, and now we have swift sneak. We also have the curses too. That means the best set of leggings in the entire game is going to be something like this right here. Your protection enchantment might change depending on your preference, but yeah, something like this. Swift sneak is all about speed, so let's talk about it. The default sneaking speed is this speed right here. It's pretty familiar, you know, pretty slow. How about with Swift Sneak 1? With Swift Sneak 1, check this out. We start sneaking a whole lot faster. This is nice. I like it for sure. But we could definitely level things up a little bit more with Swift Sneak 2. So moving things up to Swift Sneak 2 and maybe going back this way. As you can tell, we're a little bit faster here. And then finally, if we level things up all the way in Survival Minecraft to Swift Sneak 3, what do we get? Well, we get something that is pretty fast. With Swift Sneak 3 on your leggings, you will be sneaking at 75% of your walking speed. So we'll talk specifics in just a second, but really quick, a side-by-side comparison. Here are all of the different levels of the Swift Sneak enchantment and normal sneaking. As you can see, Swift Sneak 3 is way faster than normal sneaking. Normal sneaking, I don't know, it just feels so slow now. Today I'm a scientist. I ran a second test. Behind me I have a course that is 20 blocks long. I timed myself sneaking through this thing without any enchantments at all. It took about 16 seconds. With Swift Sneak 3, it took about 6 seconds. So the specifics of Swift Sneak. Every single level of Swift Sneak will raise your sneaking speed by 15%. That's going to mean with Swift Sneak 3, you have 75% of your walking speed. How did I get that? Well, the normal sneaking speed is actually 30% of your walking speed. So Swift Sneak 1, 45, 2, 60, 3, 75. Could we go more though? Well, actually, yes. In survival, 3 levels of Swift Sneak, that's it. The devs have limited you there. If you combine Swift Sneak 3 plus 3, you get Swift Sneak 3. However, if you have access to commands, things get way better. You can actually generate Swift Sneak 4 and Swift Sneak 5. Now, anything beyond Swift Sneak 5 is not going to work. Your sneaking speed can never be faster than your walking speed. The command for Swift Sneak 5 is going to look something like this right here. If you want Swift Sneak 4, just change that level number from 5 down to 4. So, check this out. Right here is Swift Sneak 3. This is the fastest one in survival. It's pretty quick right there. Check this out. Swift Sneak 4 right here. It's 90% walking speed. Oh, you're quick. You're really quick. Walking speed right there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's so quick. But even better, Swift Sneak 5 right here. 100% walking speed. You can sneak just as fast as you can walk. Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But you can't get it in survival. So, yeah. In last week's Spyglass episode, we talked about a lot of proposed changes. I'm not really going to go into that today. I think Swift Sneak is like great as is, but I do think it would be potentially kind of cool to see like Swift Sneak 4 being possible, but basically like you could only get it by combining Swift Sneak 3 and 3, and might kind of encourage more ancient city exploration, and it would be kind of a flex, you know? Let's wrap up today's Swift Sneak extravaganza with a little bit of survival talk. Now that we know everything there is to know about this enchantment, how do we use it in survival? Like, what is it good for? The ancient city. So, you want to be sneaky here. You know, you have the warden, you have the shrieker. I don't even need to, like, say it at this point. It's dangerous. You need to be quiet. If you're going to be quiet, you're going to sneak around the city unless you're on wool. Or if you're, like, really nervous like me, you're just going to sneak on wool anyways, even though you don't technically have to. Sneaking. Sneaking is slow without Swift Sneak 3. You go to the ancient city without Swift Sneak 3, you find Swift Sneak 3 in the ancient city, you put it on the leggings, and then look at this, you can move so much quicker. In all honesty, the best place to use Swift Sneak is probably the place where you find it, the ancient city. With Swift Sneak 3, sneaking around the ancient city, it's not really like a chore at all. You can move around this gigantic structure like pretty quickly. The ancient city is massive, you want to be quiet, it's a no-brainer. Swift Sneak inside of the ancient city, it's literally a dream come true. But that's definitely not all. Swift Sneak is a really useful enchantment. Let's say we're inside of the end. Maybe we beat the Ender Dragon. Maybe we didn't. It doesn't really matter at all. We have Swift Sneak 3 in our leggings. So let's say we don't like to use Ender Pearls for whatever reason to, you know, like travel around the end. Well, Swift Sneak 3 plus blocks, like bridging. Look at how quick this is. You can sneak and move like really quickly here. This is nothing like the other version of sneaking. You might even, like relatively easily too, be able to escape the Ender Dragon with blocks and Swift Sneak 3. Like, I mean, you check this out. You literally just saw it. I didn't speed it up or anything. I jumped into the end with blocks, Swift Sneak 3, and I started bridging. And it's not a problem at all. Haven't even seen the dragon at all. Of course, it's there. And now, Is it even really there? You can definitely escape the Ender Dragon with Swift Sneak 3. It's kind of sweet. But the end is not the only place you build bridges over stressful things. Think about the implications in the Nether. Inside of the Nether, maybe you get like a terrible spawn, or you're just trying to explore in general, you have to build bridges. Well, having Swift Sneak 3 will absolutely decrease the amount of time you need to be over something insanely stressful. Swift Sneak 3 is going to be great in any situation where you're bridging, whether it's in the end, the Nether, the overworld. It'll be great. But it definitely doesn't stop at ancient cities or bridging. Because of how much faster the Swift Sneak enchantment makes you sneak, this is a great enchantment to have overall. The Swift Sneak enchantment is literally the perfect, unique legging enchantment. Swift Sneak, Minecraft's newest enchantment. That's it. That's everything you need to know. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode of the Everything series. Appreciate you. If you want to see more of the Everything series, playlist is going to be on the end card. Check it out. Last episode was on Spyglass, X-Ray, and how it could be so much more. I would like to send a big thank you to my patrons for helping make this possible. Monkey Boy Chuck, Tanner B, Fateful Grim War, and Austin V. Thank you all so much for your support. Remember to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Swift Sneak, Minecraft's newest enchantment. That's it. That's everything. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode of the Everything series. Appreciate you. If you want to see more of the Everything series, check it out. Last episode was on Spyglass, X-Ray, and how it could be so much more. I would like to send a big thank you to my patrons for helping make this possible. Monkey Boy Chuck, Tanner B, Fateful Grim War, and Austin V. Thank you all so much for your support. Remember to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Swift Sneak, Minecraft's newest enchantment. That's it.